Welcome to this webinar, which provides insights on nurturing English as an additional language with a focus on early years educators. This series also includes an introductory webinar and webinars for parents and primary school teachers. The insights take account of research as well as inspectors' findings in early learning and care settings and the advice provided by inspectors to promote improvement. Taking into consideration the many children in Ireland who speak English as an additional language, it is vitally important to ensure that their varied competencies are nurtured effectively in early learning and care settings. The Early Years Inspectorate from the Department of Education supports the development of quality learning experiences for children through its National Inspection Plan. During inspections, key aspects of education provision are evaluated. The Early Years Education Inspection Quality Framework includes signposts and outcomes relevant to this topic. These are shown on the screen. Fundamental to the successful learning of an additional language are the attitudes and beliefs of the setting's managers, leaders and educators. In highly effective settings, all the staff welcome the opportunity to support children who are learning English as an additional language. Some children who do not speak the language of the setting can feel very overwhelmed as they are not readily understood. They will rely on the educators to support them and reassure them. In high-quality early learning and care settings, inspectors describe sensitive, high-quality provision which ensures that each child feels welcome, heard and supported. The educators recognise that the child has the ability to learn a language and, in most cases, to develop fluency in another language. They also understand that the child has a wealth of previous learning and knowledge accumulated from birth, including their knowledge in their home language. This is essential to any new learning and progression. The child will call on previous experiences and knowledge to make sense of their new environment. Early years educators recognise that parents are the child's primary educator and they work continuously in partnership with parents. Through frequent communication, educators can find out about the child's language competencies and establish how they can work together to nurture their language development. In high-quality settings, inspectors note that the educators take many steps to establish this partnership approach. They invite and warmly welcome parents into the setting and make it clear that their input is valued. They share photographs and videos of the setting with new families. They provide parents with information about outside agencies which can support inclusion, and they may share handbooks and newsletters which outline how children learn through play. Where possible, this information is provided in the parent's home language. Educators will strive to get to know the child's family. In this regard, inspectors note many commendable practices, including the effective use of enrolment forms, where parents can provide information about their family, native culture, religion and home languages. Educators in high-quality settings are always open to meeting new families in the setting, and they may encourage parents to visit to stay and play with the children. Inspectors affirm the work of managers and educators to nurture effective two-way communication with families. This important practice is encapsulated in the signpost shown on screen from the Early Years Education Framework for inspection. Inspectors note that educators may enlist the help of a translator, translation software or the support of a parent or community member who speak the same language or a similar language. This parent can translate key information, for example about scheduled events or the setting's procedures. Educators often translate welcome packs, policies, procedures, or other necessary messages to ensure the families are very well informed. Additionally, they may use visual displays, picture books and photographs to communicate key information to parents. Research highlights that it is very important for the child to continue to speak their home language at home and in the setting. In high-quality settings, educators continuously promote the child's home language, and they understand that by embracing and supporting the child's first language, they can really support the child to develop competencies in a second language. Occasionally, parents express a preference for their child to speak English in the setting, whereas other parents welcome bilingualism and multilingualism. In response to this, in high-quality settings, educators assure parents that their child will be supported to communicate in whatever way they choose. This approach recognises the importance of the home language and the benefits of learning a second language. As the child engages with their peers and the educators, they will hear and eventually use English in the playful learning context of the setting. When a child is considering a new concept or tricky concept, they will rely on their home language to process and understand. Therefore, in high-quality settings, educators provide plenty of wait time for the child to contemplate and reason Two children who speak the same language may come together to tease out a situation in their own language first, and may then engage with the educator or their friends in English. This is because the child's first language is the foundation for later language development and learning. By being exposed to different languages and learning different languages, a child's receptive language skills, that is the ability to understand language, are enhanced, and their expressive skills, that is the ability to speak the language, are also enhanced. The child gains a greater awareness of languages and a positive disposition to different languages and cultural diversity. Educators may learn some key phrases or words in the child's home language. To ensure continuity of experiences within the setting, these key phrases or words are displayed and used by all educators. This is especially useful when the child commences in the setting. Educators may use words or phrases to support the child when eating or drinking. They may learn and use the names of food or simple phrases like, "Are you finished?" or "Do you like this?" and simple phrases related to using the bathroom. These approaches also let the child know that their home language is valued and recognised in the setting. Significantly, educators will always ensure that they can pronounce each child's name correctly. Where necessary, the educator will ask the child, the parents or a translator to pronounce the name and help the educators to ensure that the pronunciation is correct. In high quality settings, educators understand that the child's home language is strongly linked with their cultural background and unique identity. Through careful curriculum planning and meaningful collaboration with parents, the educators provide authentic learning activities for the children. They celebrate important times and events for the cultures represented in the setting. Imagery associated with the cultures is displayed or contained within books and social stories which are freely available to the children. The educators purposefully create an environment that reflects the child's home. Familiar artefacts, toys and real items are included. In high quality settings, the children can freely explore and discuss foods and clothes. When educators embrace an emergent child-led play-based pedagogy, they create a wonderful foundation for children's linguistic development. In a safe, pressure-free atmosphere, the children can explore, experiment and learn a new language. They can attempt to use new words and language free from correction, testing and any overly formal approach to learning. In some instances, inspectors note an overly formal approach to teaching literacy and numeracy concepts through questioning, testing or template-based activities. This approach is not age or developmentally appropriate, and at this young age it can really deter children from learning, reduce their motivation and engagement and impact negatively on their well-being. ASHTR, the Early Childhood Curriculum Framework, and SHIELTA, the Quality Framework for Early Childhood Education, both highlight the importance of rich child-led active engagement during playful learning experiences. Language needs to be seen as a method of communication as opposed to a subject to be taught. In highly effective settings, a rich curriculum incorporates high-quality literature and storytelling. The children act out rhymes and songs and they interact socially as they play. Natural language learning opportunities occur when they hear words repeatedly in various contexts while thoroughly engaged in activity. Educators often arrange activities that children can really enjoy without worrying about specific language. These may include exploring water and sand, using gross motor equipment outdoors, and promoting child-initiated mark making. The educators advocate for a curriculum that supports each child's personal learning and development in a meaningful way through activities and resources which are based on their emerging interests. In this ideal pressure-free active learning space, educators promote peer interactions and they use higher order strategies to support the children to communicate and to think and learn while they play. This is known as sustained shared thinking. The educators and the children work together to solve problems, clarify concepts and build on their current knowledge. Young children learn to communicate initially through non-verbal interactions with caregivers. They learn how to have a conversation through over and back responses during simple activities, such as rolling a ball to each other or splashing water during sensory play. The over and back interactions are the catalyst for conversation development. At snack time, the adults and children sit and eat together and natural opportunities for conversations arise. It is important for the adult to model the appropriate use of language as they engage with the children. This includes speaking clearly and pronouncing words correctly. The adult needs to avoid the overcorrection of the child's attempts. Instead, the adult should respond positively to any attempts that the children make to use language. by repeating the phrase in the appropriate way if required and perhaps adding to it. Visual supports can be used to support communication while the child is still learning to use words and phrases. For instance, a clearly displayed visual routine is very helpful. A choice board with pictures can enable the child to select what they would like to play with, and using a songboard, the child can select a song to sing or the music they would like to listen to. Additionally, a first and then board can support the children during transitions by showing the child what is happening now and what will be happening next. In some high-quality settings, the educators create a display relating to the child's key person. It may show the educator's photograph alongside photos of the children in their group. This is recognised as being very beneficial for the children, and it also helps parents to know who they should talk to about their child. On screen, you see a summary of key points from Objective 9 from Verse 5, the Whole of Government Strategy for Babies, Young Children and Their Families 2019-2028. This highlights that transitions between educational settings are particularly critical for children learning English as an additional language. Educators in high-quality early years settings communicate effectively and in a variety of ways with the relevant primary schools. They may complete the Mushscale reporting template with the child and parent to outline the child's learning journey in a strengths-based manner. Parents can then choose to share this with the primary school. This brings us to the end of this webinar. Thank you for listening. If you have queries or comments, please email us on insights_info@education.gov.ie. Here is a list of further information and resources that you may find helpful.